Today we're talking about something that nobody is ready to talk about. I just recently graduated as a music major. I still follow a lot of my school's old accounts, the music accounts and different things like that. One account that I follow, the Alabama Flutes, posted something interesting. They brought something to my attention the other day, and it was this article that is apparently in the New York Times, and it's called 5 Minutes That Will Make You Love the Flute. Apparently they have this series that's all about, oh, this is, 5 minutes to fall in love with classical music, the violin, Beethoven, all kinds of different things like that. But the flute? It literally says right here, the flute is one of humanity's oldest ways of producing a beautiful sound, and it's based on the most fundamental sign of life, breath. Yeah. That's super cute. Like, a great idea. But I can't help to think, when you think of music, when you think of classical music, what do you think of? You think of Mozart? You probably think of Mozart, right? Did you know Mozart didn't even like the flute? I'm a grad student now, so I know how to find facts. I know how to find those official articles, right? And there's this scholarly paper that's called Mozart and the Flute, written by Martha Kingdon Ward. And she literally says in it that it's generally believed that Mozart disliked the flute. And he's quoted in a letter to his father saying, "I am obliged to write for an instrument I cannot bear." And he's referring to the flute. Now, obviously there's some discussion in there that like, oh, but Mozart's flute music is so pretty. But I think it's so pretty because he had to spend so much. All of his musical knowledge had to channel in to make the flute pretty. He spent so much time writing something he didn't like because it was just so hard for him to pull it off. And sure, he was able to pull it off because he's a genius. But the average flute composer, I don't know. I was Googling all kinds of stuff like, I hate the flute, all that stuff. Found a Reddit article that said, urgent, I hate the flute. And the TLDR was basically, oh, I just hate playing the flute. I have to do it 1 hour a day. I like playing all these other instruments. And everybody in the comments, like I'm sure you're thinking at home, just play the other instruments. And I think that's ultimately where I come down on the flute. Just play another instrument. Unfortunately, it's just a thing. A lot of people don't like the flute, and I'm gonna present those reasons to you guys in this video. In my searching for different negative things about the flute, I found this funny video of this dog who just cannot stand the sound of the flute. And I think this dog, in a lot of ways, represents other people who don't play the flute. Yeah. Me too, dog. Exactly right. And then also, when I was Googling around trying to find different stuff about the flute, I found this article that is the 10 worst things about playing the flute, and it is just really on the nail with this. One of the best things that I found in searching for this was that everybody thinks that the flute is a recorder, and just everywhere you look, it's bad flute playing. I was literally going out of my way to try to find bad flute playing, and everything that popped up was bad recorder playing, because no one knows what a recorder is. It is only a flute in most people's mind, and that is just mind-blowing to me. There's this whole cartoon of this fake Caillou animation. People go out of the way to make stuff like this, and you can see in the title, Caillou does the worst flute playing ever grounded. Did that sound like the flute? But on top of this, Katy Perry doesn't know the difference, and this is just a really classic clip of her faking to play the recorder, and it doesn't go well. Yeah, you can't play the flute. And you also can't play the recorder, which is what you were trying to do. It bothers me. The other thing in this BuzzFeed article, you just cannot compete with volume. Because that's right, you don't hear the flute ever. That's just a fact. Everybody knows that. It is so hard to hear a flute. Just as an example, I will put a little segment of a flute playing in an ensemble right here, right in this little spot, and we can all listen to it together. Yeah, wasn't that pretty? Oh, the flute in that was just so wonderful. There is a thing that is louder than the flute. That is just it's a lot different than the flute, and that is the piccolo. Everybody knows what a piccolo is, and I guess that is a compliment towards it. Exactly the same way I was trying to find bad flute playing, I was trying to find like out of tune piccolos or bad piccolo playing, and the recorder is so toxic in the Google search results that I couldn't find anything of piccolo playing. All I could really find is Stars and Stripes Forever duets and everything, which is difficult on its own unless it's really well done, or just more recorder. If you've heard the piccolo, if you've tried to tune a piccolo, if you've stood next to a piccolo in marching band, it's a lot. And now there's one thing that has everybody like, oh, the flute's great, the flute is so cool, and it's that one scene in Anchorman where he is just destroying everything and he's playing flute and it's so fun and it sounds great, and that's pretty much most of the common people's view on the flute, I'm pretty sure. And then the other thing in this article is the arm fatigue, which, oh, they're complaining about how heavy it is to hold a flute. And all I have to say to that is, oh, cry me a river. The flute is so heavy compared to a mellophone, compared to a baritone, compared to a trumpet, compared to anything else that you have to hold in an ensemble. If you're in a marching band scenario, you get to have the piccolo, which is even lighter. But yes, please complain about your arm fatigue. That's great. So to go back a little bit on the flutes playing out of tune, the thing that I found so funny is in my attempt to find flutes that were out of tune, I found this whole world of YouTube videos to tune a flute. And you cannot find anything besides how to tune a flute. It's such a problem that hundreds of thousands of people have made videos on how to tune a flute. And that's super helpful, I'm sure, but it gets a little excessive when you're just scrolling and just all you're seeing is out of tune, how to handle your flute acoustics, how to play flute in tune, how to use a tuner with your Native American flute. It's just mind-blowing. So I mentioned the Anchorman thing. The one thing besides Anchorman that is really just, oh, it's great for the flute's image is Lizzo. And I know Lizzo is this awesome musician. She's very bold, she's very confident, and she plays the flute. And I read this article, classicalnpr.org, and it was interesting. It was talking about how she always liked playing the flute until she kind of stopped liking it, but her relationship with her dad kind of kept her to continue it, and now she uses it everywhere, and that is awesome. But I saw this video in this interview she did with this late night show. It's a lot. That's all I have to say about that. It is a lot.
How do you blow? You blow over the top of it.
You just have to just...
I played that bit.
You got that?
Hey, but so you, but I can't even get a noise out of mine.
Really?
So that's all well and good. She's like teaching him how to play flute, and that's super cute. Let's kind of make fun of the flute. Great, we love that. And then it kind of goes off the rail when she starts performing. Hey, like I said, she's bold, she's confident. We love to see it. But that is the image of the flute in the 21st century, which is, I mean, hey, that's great for flute players, I guess. Mozart said, oh, it's the worst instrument. And now Lizzo, who, I mean, maybe she's just as good of a musician as Mozart was, loves the flute. You can make your decision. This is just everything that I was able to find online saying, well, what's wrong with the flute? Because while it's great that, you know, they get an article that's like reasons to love the flute, until every single instrument gets one like that, then it's fine to look at it and say, oh. So that's what we did in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Personally, I'm not so against the flute. This is really just for the laughs. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the flute? Is it annoying? Is it really loud? Does the tuning drive you crazy? Or do you just love Lizzo and she's the best? That's all I have for you in this video. Go make life musical, and I'll see you in the next one.
Here is this week's shout out. Thank you so much for commenting. If you want to be next week's shout out, comment down below and I might pick you.